Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly Books True Crime, a YouTube channel. My name is Gisela K. You can call me Gisela G, Grizzly, Gizzy, not Jizzy. I've also seen Grill or Grizzilla. On the case with Gisela K. Let us get started. And we are back on Brian Laundrie's Instagram page. Highly requested that I analyze his art again. I've already done this in a separate video, but I know that you guys want me to make some, ties to where this all comes from. Where do these crazy ideas of his on here come from? And what books was he reading on the trip, huh? Saw a couple of pictures of him with that lullaby book. So, no shade to the lullaby book. We just got to see where his mind is at. What was he thinking when he's an absolute fanboy of Chuck Palahniuk? I hope I'm saying the surname right. Palahniuk. He's an absolute fanboy of his. And we know what happened to with Luca Magnotta, who was a fanboy of Basic Instinct. If you haven't seen Don't F word with cats. I don't want to say it on YouTube, okay? We know what happens if someone gets completely obsessed with a movie, books, a creator, an artist, a movie character. Interestingly enough, his obsession with Hellboy, he shares that with Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was also obsessed with Hellboy. No shade to Hellboy. It's just about demented minds locking onto something and what will they do with it. So I want to analyze that. I think it's highly interesting that he's updated his Spotify playlist, taken out the name self-consumption, added new songs. So we got to look at all of those. And we got to see how this ties up to his obsession with Chuck Palahniuk. So this is his Instagram page, as you can see. Obviously, if we start from the top, it's all that Melon Boy stuff. If you don't know why on earth I call him Melon Boy, this is why. Not a lot of biodegradable packaging for on-the-go food these days. That's why I stick with my melon rinds, apple cores, peach pits, and banana peels. Also, most melons contain around 90% water. Talk about hydration. Let's keep plastic water bottles off the trail, or better yet, off the planet. Hashtag melon vibes. Arches National Park, eco-friendly. Yes. Okay, so that's why we call him Melon Boy. Because of this, in case you're wondering. Chris Watts is Baby Boy, and Scott Peterson is Baby Girl. And if you don't know why I call him Baby Girl, please go check out the video. You'll soon find out why. Sometimes we need just a little bit of these kind of more humorous references to take the edge off, because these cases are dark and it's a deep dive. And we also have to function mentally. For all of you who are also very much obsessed with this case right now, please make sure to look after your mental health. Make sure to make time for self-care. Get some rest. I am getting my rest. I know you all think I don't sleep at all. I am getting my rest, looking after myself. Don't worry. Do it as well, okay? Don't just watch this all day. Make sure you're looking after yourself. So if we look, we go down, right? We can see, remember I was saying, here in South Africa, we say, jy eet met lang tande, which means you're eating with long teeth, which is like, vegetables. You know, remember this one? This one. And there's another book there. We'll see now which books these are. Okay, so you wanted me to look at the art. Here's this one, Bizarre Design. At the top it says Depop, so yeah, gotta go check that out. At Bizarre Design and at Bizarre_design_ on Instagram. So we've got here, this was a fun one. I want to give them little bodies with blood spraying from their necks, a lot of gore, maybe an axe or a chainsaw, generic itchy and scratchy stuff. What do we analyze from this? We've already looked at it. Sorry, I can move this over slightly for you. Wait. What can we analyze from this? We can just analyze the contrast, I would say, of him writing that kind of stuff and then playing it down by saying, I want to give them little bodies. I found that strange. I know it's got to do with the characters and all that. I get it, okay? But little, just eerie, the way he words everything. I want to give them little bodies with blood spraying from their necks, a lot of gore. Maybe an axe or a chainsaw, generic itchy and scratchy stuff. So the way is like, generic itchy and scratchy stuff. It's sort of, I don't know, I would just say it's someone who's like, oh yeah, gore, blood, guts, just generic stuff. Like it's a bit of a sarcasm. There we go. Sarcasm. You said hashtag fan art. Just remember that he makes all of these stamps himself. So sitting there carving it up. So it takes time to make these. It's not like a quick sketch or whatever. He's got all these stamps going on. Next up, we have BMO's got to be my favorite character. Also a little peppermint butler thrown in there. Dark Magic 101 with a T. This comment. You doubted of vlogging and you think this crap is worth anything. You have a rotten soul. I don't know how deep you get on your intellectual rants. Rotten is rotten and you have no good on this planet. Wow. Okay, so now we get to the Chuck Palahniuk stuff. Do you see the corner there? That is the book Lullaby. We can see it in another picture right after this. I'll show you now so you believe me. There we go. Lullaby. National bestseller by Chuck Palahniuk. He said, the effing craziest out of all of Chuck's books on my shelf. So he's got a lot of Chuck books on his shelf. He's taken a lot of them with on his trips. So think about that. When he's isolated in nature, beautiful water, cliffs, barefooting it, melon, he's busy reading these horror books, which is, I wouldn't judge someone doing that. I'm just saying, given the circumstances and the outcome, that's interesting. Now we have to look at it. You remember with Jeffrey Dahmer, if we look at him like, ooh, he liked Star Wars, Emperor Palpatine. I mean, so many people like Star Wars. So are we saying, oh my word, Star Wars is bad? No, but you got to look at the person's psychology, which even Dr. Park Dietz, one of the top 10 forensic psychiatrists, criminal psychiatrists in the world who works for and with the FBI, has his own practice. Dr. Park Dietz, an absolute legend. Even he said, you got to look at how the person that we're dealing with, right, and analyzing is receiving the information and what they're doing with it. As I say, Luca Magnotta, Basic Instinct. We got Jeffrey Dahmer obsessing over Hellboy and Star Wars and other movies, The Exorcist. And we've got Melon Boy over here obsessing over Chuck Palahniuk. So we have to look at it. So he said, the effing craziest out of all of Chuck's books on my shelf. I can't fathom how he must have written this one. I'd love to preach all of the, all of the insane twists and turns, like this case. But all I can say is that I'll never forget the name Rant Casey or Green Taylor Sims. We're going to look at that. Me and my fiance, instead of my fiance and I'm not nitpicking, me and my fiance read this one out loud together. And boy, oh boy, I can't believe some of the stuff coming out of our mouths. I think you read it out loud at night in a campsite, probably to her, and she couldn't believe the stuff that was coming out of your mouth. Just speculating. Then he tagged him there at Chuck Palahniuk. Lino cut print, rant, bookstagram, and art. 55 weeks ago. So he drew the car with the Christmas tree on top, speeding away. For a second, I would like to take this off. I'll come back to it now. And I want to read you the plot summary of Rant. Buster Casey is born in the rural town of Middleton with the senses of smell and taste far more advanced than any other human. I think that Brian Laundrie thinks of himself this way. He acquires the nickname Rant from a childhood prank involving animal organs, which results in numerous people becoming ill. The sound of the victims vomiting resembles the word rant, which becomes a local synonym for vomit, and therefore Buster's nickname. When we find out more from Gabby Petito's autopsy, I am going to be interested to see if this plays into that at all. As a child, Rant discovers a massive wealth that turns the small town's economy on its head. He becomes obsessed with getting bitten by rabid animals along with venomous snakes and spiders. After his first bite from a black widow spider, Rant discovers that toxic spider bites cause him to get an erection. He uses this effect to leave school and eventually threatens his way to an early diploma and rather large check that he uses to leave town. When Rent arrives in the city, it becomes clear to the reader that the novel takes place in a dystopian future, where urban dwellers are forcefully divided by curfew into two separate classes, the respectable daytimers and the oppressed nighttimers. Rent becomes a nighttimer, of course, and finds himself swept up in the nighttimer lifestyle that revolves around party crashing and covert demolition derby played out on city streets at night. The game is organized by an unknown entity and is set during a designated window of time. The object of the game is to crash, not too forcefully, into other players who sport a certain flag, such as a Christmas tree on their car's roofs or the words "just married" scrawled on their rear windshield. Rent meets Echo Lawrence, a fellow crasher, and the girl with whom he falls in love with. Yes, a fellow crasher, and the girl with whom he falls in love with. Rent also starts a nationwide rabies epidemic that eventually erupts into zombie invasion-like proportions that calls for those infected with rabies to be shot and killed on sight. Rent eventually dies during a party crashing event. His death is viewed and listened to by millions on national television. I think he wants that. And the graphic traffic radio show. However, when the car is pried open, his body is missing. After his death, many interviewees share their speculations about Rent's strange fate and its implications for society, along with the rabies outbreak. Some interviewees and friends of Rent speculate that crashing a car while in a given state of mind will jar a person outside of time. Once this is accomplished, they can then go back and kill off all of their ancestors, in turn making them immortal. Or they can, through incest, make themselves into something more human. The latter is believed to have happened to Green Taylor Sims, a fellow party crasher who is implied to be Buster Casey in some form. Okay, so is there a film called Rent? James Franco had optioned the film rights to Rent in 2014. Whether or not the pitch achieved its goal, I don't know if there is. Is there a movie? Is there Rent? I can't see it on the list here. But Chuck Palahniuk is also the author of Fight Club. So the book we saw that he also carried around, Fight Club. I like that movie. I understand the movie. I'm not going to go too much into that right now. But same author, same obsession. So let's go back to his Instagram page. So now you understand and you hear what I'm saying. I mean, we're in a pandemic. Zombies, rabies, the vaccine debacle. Interesting time for him to be choosing to disappear. Lots of plot twists and turns, huh? By the way, analyzing his Spotify playlist, did you notice how many lyrics are like love songs? I don't know. I'm going to throw a wild speculation out there. What if he met someone else on this trip? Because to listen to love songs on the way home is a bit strange. Just a tad. Okay. We look at this one next. I mean, at first, I should know. I feel it's like, duh now. Like, duh, lullaby. The bird that he's got there and this picture is from Chuck Palahniuk's audiobook cover. It's not his own creation at all. I don't know if he even makes his own creations. He just copies stuff, but he carved this up because he liked it so much. The bird and the princess there, and he says, reading is different than any other consumption of media. It takes more effort than staring at a screen half alive. It allows you to use your brain rather than melt it. And there's no author more stimulating, Brian, but there's no author more stimulation to me than Chuck Palahniuk. Lino cut print, lullaby, invisible monsters, bookstagram art. If you want to see what I'm talking about, let's look at Chuck Palahniuk's page, shall we, on Amazon. I'm sure he's a brilliant author. I mean, Fight Club was brilliant. Well-known author. I'm sure he doesn't want to be in any way, shape, or form linked to this guy. But unfortunately, this guy is his fanboy. Okay, so there is Chuck Palahniuk. And Fight Club, that's his book, okay? Have you seen the movie? Let me know what you think. If you have more insight or you want to share your insight or thoughts, I hope I can keep up and I hope I see it because I'm drowning in the comments. But about Fight Club and Hellboy and what you think it means to Brian and his demented mind, because by now we can say it's pretty demented, right? Let me know. So Fight Club, and there's Lullaby. Okay, this is Lullaby. You can see the bird is on there. We'll look at that now, but see, here's the Kindle edition cover as well. So let's go there. Yes, we want to see this. Invisible Monsters, a novel. A harrowing, perverse, laugh aloud, funny rocket ride of catastrophes, gutsy, terse and cunning invisible monsters may emerge as Palahniuk's strongest book. She's, wait. She's a fashion model who has everything. A boyfriend, a career, a loyal best friend. But when a sudden freeway accident leaves her disfigured and incapable of speech, she goes from being the beautiful center of attention to being an invisible monster, so hideous that no one will acknowledge she exists. Enter Brandy Alexander, Queen of Supreme, one operation away from becoming a real woman who will teach her that reinventing yourself means erasing your past and making up something better, and that salvation hides in the last places you'll ever want to look. Remember, I believe that Brian takes things pretty literally. So, does this give you goosebumps at all? Because for me, I'm like, Gabby Petito was a travel influencer. She had a boyfriend. She had jobs before, career, loyal best friend. Now, this sudden freeway accident, I'm just going to, for a second, let's speculate. It's a speculation. It's wild. But what if he had an accident where he rode over her, leaving her disfigured and incapable of speech, goes from being the beautiful center of attention to being an invisible monster? What if with his car, it would be interesting, depending on what the FBI finds on the car, because they seized the car, Gabby Petito's van, who was at Brian Laundrie's parents' house. If they find any evidence on the bumper, or it would be on the bumper, maybe, I don't know if he would reverse over her, maybe, but imagine that. Imagine if he took this literally, so obsessed with this. He carved up stamps to make, and loves this book. So if we go back to his Instagram page, we'll go back there. There's no author more stimulation to me. We must remember that. But reading is different from any other consumption of media. It's just like, wow, dude, you are amazing, right? I'm sorry, it's the language of a egocentric maniac. Here he says, I've taken Chuck's books on 100-mile tracks through the AT, and there's nothing worse than losing my page. I'm not comfortable putting some generic marker in between such powerful pages, so I decided to print my own. Okay, that's Fight Club. See that? Slide. Remember, did you watch Fight Club? If you did, you'll know what the slide is all about. This whole friggin' movie. He said, slide, your animals, recycle, there's a kiss, there's people kissing, or they're at a fountain. Wow. And there's this art. So this is now going a little bit different. I guess it's Simpsons and Beetlejuice. Wait, what did they say? Carved a stamp with his missing necklace, bone, tooth, perhaps. Where is that necklace? Where is the necklace? Oh my word. What if they found the necklace? The crime scene, I'm just saying. Okay, so if we look there, we've got all of this, more of the art. I mostly wanted to look, obviously, at the Chuck Palahniuk stuff, so that's what we're looking at. This is the Prince of Crime. Loved the new Joker. Wanted to make a minimal stamp of the new Prince of Crime. Prince of Crime, you Lucifer. Prince of Crime. So it's like just... You know what I mean? Now, we're going to just look at this one. Charter Mellum. Ooh. Charter Mellum. Our mistake has been placing our faith in the government rather than putting our efforts into sustainable farming. Our forests paved over for shopping malls opposed to everyone living amongst nature and living off the land rather than pillaging it. They're saying, poor Gabby put her faith in you. All this talk of humanity, yet you had or have no compassion or even respect for your own fiancée or her family. Right? He'd be preaching, but he's also terrible. I will now look up Charter Mellum for you. Charter Mellum. List of Latin phrases. Charter Mellum, meaning... It's not really here. I will look that up more. We'll deep dive that one. This is the Chuck Palahniuk one, so let me stay on that. So if we look again over here, you can see, make myself even smaller. Fight Club. This is his, we'll look at this one. Only after disaster can we be resurrected. It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. Nothing is static. Everything is evolving. Everything is falling apart. Yes, quote from Fight Club. Drew Brad Pitt over here in Fight Club. He even stuck a plaster on the nose to give it that 3D effect, you know. Tactile experience. I mean, the art is nice, but if we look at what he's picked out of that movie, that's pretty scary if he truly believes this. And I mean, only after disaster can we be resurrected. It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. Well, he's just lost everything. So is he now free to do anything he wants? It seems so. I mean, he's on the run, hiding, not missing, with an online presence, perhaps on Instagram and Spotify and who knows where else. Favorite comedy duo? And the things you used to own, now they own you. Fight Club, watercolor. With a plaster again, of course, for the effect. Prison owns you. Tyrone owns you now. See, they say again, Fight Club. Fight Club wasn't just about fighting. It was a guy fighting his own different personalities. That resonated with him. So, yeah, Fight Club is actually, if you deep dive it, a movie conveying... I don't want to say too much. Various personality states fighting with each other. It's not separate people. It's... generally portraying dissociative identity disorder. That is never portrayed well in the media. Dissociative identity disorder. It's a trauma-based disorder. And it's strange that he does resonate with this. And I'm now going to say that he does definitely present differently in various scenarios. The way that he's, you know, you've got so many muscles in your face. How many muscles do we have in our face, huh? I literally think it's like, we'll look at this now. Hold on. Let's do this. How many muscles do you have in your face? 42 individual face muscles. But there's 42 individual, but they say you could have literally like these micro movements, right, of these muscles in your face to have very many different looks. Now, I know we can all do this. I get it. But someone with dissociative identity disorder, the way they present is so vastly different that it could scare people sometimes because, like, damn, that's like a different person. I'm trying not to go there to say this, but I've been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. Okay, so I know a lot about this disorder. I know a lot about this movie, Fight Club, and I find it very interesting that he resonates with that, and it would allude to the fact that he has significant trauma in his background, which we don't know anything about that yet. But of course, we don't want to pin him or associate him to dissociative identity disorder at this point, because it's a trauma-based disorder and generally doesn't make a person dangerous. Generally. Obviously, it can't be a blanket expression like no one with DID is dangerous, because there have been serial killers with DID that were very dangerous. And I just find that sometimes his behaviors, that's what, if we look at how he behaved on the body cam footage and how he behaves in some of the footage with him and Gabby alone, or some of the pictures of him and Gabby alone, it's as if they're two different people. So the fact that Fight Club, and he paints it and he loves it so much and he resonates so much with certain characters, if he really does have DID, he could literally absorb some of those characters that I say, those traits, and his mind would be so split. Have you seen the movie Split, by the way? Have you seen it? Watch it. That was not a good portrayal of DID in general, but it's kind of worst case scenario. So that's what I can say. Okay, now this one. I want to show you this one again. Grim Reaper, leading sheep to the slaughter, and a mousetrap. I mean, if you just said Grim Reaper, leading sheep to the slaughter, that's already creepy enough. And look, there's two that he's put on there with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sheep. There are 7 sheep. They're in a circle with one on the outside. The one that's on the outside, the outcast of the sheep, shall we say, is situated in this picture because he set this up. The carvings are at the bottom of the rubber or whatever this is, the lino stuff. There's the stamps at the bottom. He shows what stamps he created to make the picture. The picture is all torn. It's a piece of paper torn off. He's got the Grim Reaper on either side of the sheep. And he's got the one sheep at the top. So all these others are in a circle type of pattern. And there's 6 of them in a circle. And then the 7th one is up there, sort of isolated from the crowd. Maybe he sees that as the protector or the dominant one. We don't know. I'm speculating. But the fact that that top sheep is situated right between Grim Reaper and a mousetrap, I find it really strange that there's a mousetrap also in this artistic expression. Grim Reaper leading sheep to the slaughter. So not only is Grim Reaper in his picture leading them from one side, but also pushing them from the other. Literally, they're in this picture, the sheep are stuck between 2 Grim Reapers and being led to the slaughter. Okay. And it looks like it's sunrise or sunset, right? Is that sunrise or sunset? What do you guys think? If I look at it quickly, my initial urge would be it's sunset. Okay, now what if he did this type of an expression to Gabby Petito? Because now we can't really anymore, even though we're waiting for forensic evidence, the FBI has confirmed the remains match the description of Gabby Petito, and the tattoos would have helped to identify her pretty conclusively to the point where they can have a press conference and send condolences to the family. So what if Brian Laundrie was leading her to the slaughter and he said, and a mousetrap? Why is there a mousetrap and Grim Reaper is also on the mousetrap? You see, sorry, I love to analyze things, okay? I shouldn't say sorry. I must not apologize. I realize I have a tendency to be like, sorry, and you guys are awesome. You're like, stop apologizing. I will stop apologizing, okay. It's like, I will stop apologizing. I'm sorry, okay. So on the left-hand side, if you look at the plank of wood, the piece of wood on top, on the left-hand side of the page, you see that's just a plain piece of wood with a Grim Reaper on it in reddish sort of ink. He's drawn over that one. And the one on the right hand side is the mousetrap. So it's as if he would be possibly the one on the left hand side, and the Grim Reaper on the right hand side represents someone else maybe, or another personality, but there's a mousetrap. What is a mousetrap? It's usually used for mice to put a piece of cheese on there, or bait them. It's baiting a mouse into a trap, which then traps them and they die, right? So not only are there sheep in this, but also a mousetrap. And I'm just saying that's quite the combination to put here artistically, of course, with plants around the outside, of course. This art says how man treats one another. It's a bit odd. There's a fight, but it's a weird way that he drew it. I mean, funny little tussle going on there. And then the man with a weapon is just looking up at the guy that wants to box his shoulder, punch his arm. But he's got the weapon. And then later the man with a weapon, do you see what I'm saying? How man treats one another. Cleon Peterson. So eerily, the one dude in this picture is punching the other guy's arm and hitting him and everything like that. The other man has the weapon and he's looking up at him. And if you look at the bottom left-hand side, suddenly the man with the weapon has got a head that he's holding. So it's like punch, 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 push me so far, and decapitated. You see what I'm saying? Let's see what they say. His art, there's nothing pretty, inspiring, or creative, just death and low energy. Yeah, which one is you? Exactly. I think he's got the one with a weapon. Definitely up for pushing someone over the edge. His parents are no good. Yeah, say weird. Yeah. Go check it out on his Instagram page. You check it out and let me know what you think. And then, of course, we've got all this friggin'... Wow. I know you guys want me to analyze this. So that's... From the bottom is his first post. What on earth is going on here? That's Pikes Peak. I've hiked hundreds of miles on the AT, but hiking in Colorado seemed like my ship crashed on a whole other planet. See, he's wearing shoes there. So much for barefoot hiking all the time. He's hiking with shoes on there. See, now, if we look at this picture, he could literally be... Look at him there. I've hiked... He's still saying that, but... hiked hundreds of miles with his shoes on. But look how well hidden he is. How well hidden. You know what I mean, though? He's slipped into that little crack there. With his thumbs up. He's definitely... He could be hidden in a place like that right now. Playing hide and seek. So there is barefoot. Wow, the west coastline along the highway spotted some impressive rock formations. See, this over here is what I mean. Look at the way that he's presenting here, compared to the way he presented in front of the police. This is looking not like that little boy we saw. The little boy vibe he had with the police. This was eerie. My biggest fear is that one day I'll wake up and it'll all have been a dream, because that is what every second has felt like since the moment we found each other. In high school, dude? Till death do us part. Or until I wake up. I'm so happy the answer was yes. Love you, honey. Till death do us part. Or until I wake up. We know about this one. We've analyzed that before. I think that's his sister's child, from what I gather from her interview. Just dug up some of my old watercolors. Watercolor Mike Mignola Hellboy. Dude's on a rock. Look. Are you looking at this? Let me take this overlay off so you can see. I just need to hear that the autopsy results. This is scary. I will actually attribute all of my skill in painting to dissecting the works of art of MM. I've never attended any schooling for art, but because of my love of comics, I never needed a second in a classroom. Because you're that amazing, right? Can you hear the ego? She's ego talking all the time. All the time. Including in the post that he made on Gabby's Instagram page. Speculatively. So, we've got watercolor Hellboy. Yes, that's pretty much what he looks like. Sorry, Hellboy, but Melon Boy's a fanboy of you. You've got a Hellboy and fanboy. Yep, that's pretty much how I would describe Brian Laundrie, Dirty Laundry. Is that supposed to be Lego on the left-hand side? I don't know. A few more. Just want to say I'm a really big fan of art of MM. It might sound silly to say, but the first time I picked up Hellboy, I was 8. And it had a big impact on me. 8 years old. Hellboy. Big impact on him. I'm sorry, but Jeffrey Dahmer spoke the same way. We have to take it literally at this point. It had a big impact on him. No shade on Hellboy, but we got to think of this demented mind and the impact it had on him. Especially if perhaps he had childhood trauma. And then he gravitated towards the character. That's so freaky. The vibe of it is just like, ugh. They said this should be enough to get him thrown in jail. This is so sick and twisted. It really breaks my heart. Gabby deserved the world. Too bad Gabby didn't stay the hell away from you, you sick person. This person said, I message you. Respond when you can. Good job. Yes, let us know if he messages you. It's just so scary, given the situation. We've got pen and watercolor, Frankenstein's Monster. Frankenstein, watercolor, Universal Studios and ink. It's pretty good art, but they say, did you do this to her before dumping her body? Scum of the earth. Nice self-portrait. He'll have lots of time to do your artwork in prison. Frankenstein. That would take a couple of hours to do. So think about that as well. It's not just like, oh, look, he drew this. Like he's spending time creating this art, carving up that rubber to make his stamps and all this. So he's really like invested in it time-wise, you know? Last Hellboy watercolor, I promise. Hashtag Hellboy, hashtag watercolor. I see it's not Lego, it's like the hand, you know, in the earlier pancake picture. Now, 786-519-3708. I do not know what that is, but I think someone said it is a number that you can call and it just makes some eerie sound. Have you guys tried it? I'm in the Netherlands, so please, if you can call that number in the USA, please do it and let me know. But look at this. So remember, look at the first picture. It says B. Hello, B for Brian. There's a knife. There is blood. There is a pig and a goat. And is this another goat? What's this in the background? We've got baseball bats. We've got guns. We've got this art here going on. Like a halo. Narcissistic halo. Sorry to throw the word narcissist around so much, but you know what I mean. It's just like glowing. And then he's like picking up the phone. He's got the knife. Let's just see. This was in 2020. Poor Gabby. She never really knew him and his sick tendencies. Creepy. So this one. Now you can see it says sheep. It initially said B on the jacket in the original, the first drawing. And he made another one. So he made this one. And this is another one of the same character. And he wrote sheep. Remember the Grim Reaper leading sheep to the slaughter? Now he's got the sheep jacket on. That's a wolf, of course. A wolf in sheep's clothing. He couldn't have said it better himself. There's a wolf with a B on it in sheep's clothing. 62 weeks ago. They say this was 2020. I don't know exactly when this was. Oh, there, July 9th, 2020. Didn't they start their trip on the 2nd? And another one. The power of black light paint. Hotline Miami, trippy art, backlight art. He said the power of it, so it's to really illuminate what? The wolf's face in sheep's clothing with, is this a cross? Have you guys read about that memorial that was found near where Gabby's body was found? Now, I'm not gathering, I have to look more into that story, whether that memorial was put there by like passers-by, or if those stones put in this exact cross shape were, if they're implying that it was put there by Brian. I'm not sure. Or whoever harmed Gabby. I'm just looking at every detail here because he said the power of black light paint. One more time. Let's look at this one. And this one. He's very demented. Who watches The Watchmen? Swipe for some Rorschach tests. Trigger warning if you have mental health problems or are easily triggered. Don't look at this. I mean, my psychologist has advised me to generally not look at Rorschach tests. You know, it's sometimes can be really triggering. I've looked at these though, and I'm just warning anyone else in case it's like triggers you. So don't look at it, okay? Watchmen, who watches The Watchmen? Alan Moore, Rorschach, blacklight art, blacklight, trippy art. This looks a lot like that Hellboy character, right? Like Hellboy. He wishes he was Hellboy. He's Melon Boy. He said, I looked in the mirror for this one. They say he's on LSD. I want a picture of that. How much? When he says, I looked in the mirror for this one. I mean, this is not his butt, is it? This is a feminine figure. It's so weird that he says, I looked in the mirror for this one. Again, I'm going to speculate different personalities in his own mind. Yeah, that's you, bro. This is what you're objectifying. That's you. A worm. Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Brian. Adult Swim, Adult Swim. What is that? Testing, he says. Cartoon Network, trippy art, backlight. If you know what this is from, let me know, because I don't really know. Because I got it later again. There's something in the trees. Hashtag predator. Hashtag blacklight. There's something in the trees. Yeah, the van. And possibly you in the field and in the creek at night and hiking around. There's something in the trees. I mean, predator. I know we're taking it all very literally now, but we have to, as I say. Wow. Products of late nights with Adult Swim. Futurama, okay. Gravity Falls, Invaderism, Art Fan, Blacklight Art, Adult Swim. Oh, I know you guys are going to go far with that one, right? Conspiracy theories be building now. But go with it. Feel free. Comment. It's like as if he was drawing Gabby there. Robots, aliens, and MF Doom. MF Doom, Doom, Doom. Mars attacks. Throwback to some trippy times, painting under the black light with the sickest friends I could have. Yeah, who are your friends? Because I believe it was plants before. Is that Gabby's hand? Let's see. It definitely looks like there are 3 hands in this picture. This one looks like it could be Gabby. I'm speculating. This one with this double jointed thumb, Brian. Who this? Or are these both Gabby's hands? Who this? Yeah, I think that's Gabby because you can see the rings, right? Wow, the comments, wow, they're lit up. Get swifty with this blacklight poster. Rick and Morty art. We know, we've seen these. Okay, you wanted me to analyze the art? I analyzed the art. Gave you a lot of info there of what in the hell. I just still want to look up this. He's got the snake here, he's got the snake here. Like he had Grim Reaper and Grim Reaper. Chartamelum. Always everything in 2. I will look that up and I will analyze this one some more, okay? So, comment your thoughts below. Fry and Leela simplified, like, yeah, just their hair, huh? Yeah, all the people's drawings he made into a stamp. Little Harley I made back when Birds of Prey came out. I made back when Birds of Prey came out. Harley Quinn was abused domestic with Joker. So I bet you thought you're the Joker. You're just a murderer. We'll forget. Gabby will live on forever in our hearts. Prince of Crime. Sorry, I'm not finished yet. We have to look at more of this art. I know it's been almost an hour, but I don't think you mind. When I pondered whether I should do a Lucy stamp, all I could hear in the deep recesses of my mind was, do it. Disenchantment there, he says, lino cuts and disenchantment. They say, he says, the deep recesses of my mind. The deep, dark, demented recesses of his mind. Yep. Did he smoke? Do we know if he smoked? I know he bit his nails like crazy. I saw from his hands. But did he smoke? I'm saying those two are linked sometimes because of anxiety. Sometimes the nail biting can be from anxiety, as can smoking. Sometimes that's like a habit to curb anxiety. Sometimes. Don't come for me. I'm just saying, did he smoke? Did we know if he did? The ghoulish faces of Adam and Barbara from one of my favorite Tim Burton movies, Beetlejuice, lino cut. How many eyeballs you got? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them eyeballs. And here there's 2. Hey, if we're to speculate about personality states, I mean, this would be 5 different states. Sandworm incidents increased 13% last year. Right? What did they say? These photos scream cult, praying for Gabby's family to find refuge. Right? This art sucks. And they will arrest you, confess. Yeah. His belly is shaking like a bowl full of nitroglycerin. Futurama. Sharp teeth, huh? This. Sure, it's the character. He copies characters, of course, from Futurama, but we got to look at it from how he's seeing it and why he's spending time drawing it. A very holy crusty to go with my holy Zoidberg. Any ideas for a holy trinity? Crusty. And, yeah, got the cheeseburger. This guy. Always with a cigarette. All his characters, a lot of them, most of them have cigarettes. That's why I ask about the smoking. I mean, here he's showing that his claws are kind of tied. You know, and it's just like, what, do you want to break free and use those claws or what? What is going on here? Kang or Kodos, you choose. New lino cut print of my favorite alien invaders. Earlier, the comment I made of the 9th of July 2020, they left in 2021. Their trip started in 2021, right? So, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Remember him from the body cam footage. As soon as I said sorry about that, I just remember him being like, sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. If I was speeding, sorry about that. Like, oh, but hitting your girlfriend. Not sorry about that, but sorry about speeding. Sorry about that. You want to see more of this? I think we saw all of them, right? Yep. All the Simpsons stuff. We've got to look more into this because the Simpsons are supposedly great at predicting things. So we've got to look at what he's looking at. I will look at some more of this later. Throw in some Casper. We've got some more Hellboy stuff. Planet Express. We saw those. Okay, so we've analyzed the art. And if you didn't watch my previous video, I've analyzed who has either blocked him or who has he unfollowed. Because he was following 67 people 4 days ago, so, and now there's 47. And we've analyzed who those people are. Analyze means we made a list, and now we want to contact them. So please go ahead and do that as well. Help me out. I want to go and message them and say, did you block him? Did you remove him as a follower? Or did he unfollow you? Because if even one person says he unfollowed me, we know he's active on his Instagram. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Do you want me to go into any more detail? Let's see. I mean, we're almost at an hour. I would love to tell you more about the plot of Fight Club, and we read about Rent, and we got to look at Hellboy. This could be hours worth of content, so I'm going to leave it here. Let me know what else you want to see and for me to analyze with my inquisitive mind, as you guys say. I am very inquisitive. And all of these things are my thoughts, my opinions, my speculations, and just watching what's happening. So I just find it very interesting how watching his social media, the Spotify, the Instagram, I don't know, is he seeing that we're all watching this? Because he's definitely making changes on things. The last thing I want to do is just go through this one called Art. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Printing a t-shirt there. Says Children Bible there. We'll look at that. We'll look at that book as well at some point. Anyone else feeling like, whoa? I think he was quite demented. I think he's quite mentally ill, more than what he ever put on, right? Some people are going to be offended by that. More evil, more sinister, more sick, demented, whatever word you want me to use, you can describe him below. What you think. This is just my opinion. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you liked it, hit the like button. Remember to subscribe and check out the playlist because I update a lot of videos to do with this case as it unfolds. I also do a lot of other stuff. So if you're not even into this case, there's other stuff for you. I'm analyzing the Chris Watts 2,000-page discovery document, interviewing people, doing case club, doing movie night, Grizzly news, which at the moment it's on pause for now because this is the news. So there's something for everyone. I hope you'll enjoy it, and I will see you in the next one.